A full load of coffee. I've been sitting here thinking through the strategy of all of this. Like I said, none of us really know the scope of what is coming. What I can say is this. I understand that there's other people who have disagreeing ideas as far as what I'm about ready to say. This is not a popular idea. The reason why I'm saying what I'm about ready to say is because it's to live to fight another day. It's to live to fight another day. It's to do everything that you can to preserve your own wealth, to preserve your own security. I would say an exodus is a smart idea. Those that have the means to do what you can to relocate. There's a lot of places throughout the world that are friendly to conservatives. Not just Americans, but friendly to conservative Americans. There's places that are friendly to conservative Americans. If we're going to be attacked in this country genocidally, doesn't it make sense for us to relocate and to take our wealth with us? Now, see, part of their plan with this war on terror is to take your wealth. That's the whole plan, actually. It's just, it's what they consider, and I don't know this, but slave reparations. They're just taken from you. You know, that's the end game. You know, when you define white supremacy in the way that they have, that's dependent upon their fears. It's dependent upon their insecurities. So if you can create a statement that applies to pretty much everyone, just because they disagree with you, that means everybody's at risk. And they're going to do things like building narratives. Now, here's the thing about the Democratic narrative. Anybody who has psychological records right now, you need to preserve that. And it would be wise for everyone to create a psychological record if you don't have one created. Talk to a psychologist. Somebody who's online with the same kind of goals you are. Get a psychological record created. Because the part of the narrative, the way they define their narrative is they'll beat on you and 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 beat on you. And then after all that period of violence, as it escalates and escalates and you become more and more scarred, you finally lash out. Then they point a finger at you and say, see? The trick is to not find yourself in that situation. The trick is to see that coming before it gets there and to find a way to get moved. It's like Judo. The same kind of idea. The idea of peaceful resistance. You know, the peaceful resistance. The people are going to call you bad names and just say, okay, well, I'll just leave. I'm just going to leave. You're going to call us bad names, we're just going to leave. We're talking about the prosecution of a giant amount of Americans. This is it's beyond illegal. It's into the realm of massive human rights violations. And I have no doubt, none whatsoever, because I already have a narrative that was created by Dr. Borg. And Dr. Borg will tell you, in her experience with me, through her own psychological awareness and her thorough in-depth examination of me due to the need to do that for the safety of my children, that she found a very decent and honorable man who's not any of the things that the people around him say that they are. Now, I already have that baseline. The people around me, they can provide all this evidence and scream all of this. You know what? They're right about a lot of that stuff. Because I've been a pretty fucking terrible person. You know? There's crawling through my psychology and all of that pain and all of that hatred. There's been some pretty terrible places in there, and they can point that out and say, look at this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. Like the sex stuff. I thought I was meeting a new girlfriend and treating my rape. And exploring myself. And then they reveal that, oh yeah, well, we're just seeing SA and we're fucking with your head. And what? What is that? Oh, rape shower, man. Fuck. What? No, man. Trauma. If you can get out of here, you can come back and vote 4 years from now and then come back. So those of you that have the wealth to do something like that, I'd say that's really smart. I'd say that doesn't stop the people around you. I'd say it's very important to have secure communications. I'd say it's very important to have secure television. I'd say it's very important to stay out of American television. It's all mass manipulation of media and propaganda right now. None of it's really. I mean, it doesn't. There's no real truth anywhere. The only place we're gonna find truth is at that ballot box, and that ballot box is gonna look different, and it's gonna look like we're a third world country, but we're a country that's genocidal towards its own people, and we're doing that in a sideways attack and justifying the violence because it's somehow okay. Just because we believe something different than they do. Now, all of that, I'm just saying they're mentally ill, man. And from my perspective, they're just mentally ill. I'm not going to have a bunch of mentally ill people punishing me for their resentments. Just no, I'm a psychologically aware human being. I'm not going to do that in any case. Sorry about that. You know, and the part of their thing is, well, we'll put you alone and we'll beat you down and see what you've become, you know, and show you just how weak you are. And I'm thinking to myself right now, well, you're showing me how weak I am. I'm this incredibly strong and capable fucking human being, man. That's what I am when I'm all alone. I'm incredible. What about you, man?